My name is Fleur, and I'm a daughter, a sister, and a girl. Throughout my life I've noticed, like many others, that men and women are treated differently, and, as a woman, I feel I've been forced to assess my place in the world. As a feminist, I know that institutionalised sexism plays a large part in our ideas about gender, but surely there must be more than these derogatory ideas about what makes a man or a woman.
The biblical role for a woman is that she is to be a helpmate, and on issues she submits to her husband.
In this documentary series, I've explored the ins and outs of gender, but in this episode, I consider a new side completely, the LGBT community. I've had many trans and genderqueer friends over the years, which I feel gives me enough of a starting point to explore how LGBT identities affect our perception of gender. I want to know how non-cisgender people affect regular gender roles. In fact, is there even a need for men and women at all?
Gender has no description anymore.
Gender's whatever you feel like is whatever.
You say you're a man, you're a man.
It's about using your queer identity to relate to all people who are oppressed.
Let's get started. You may learn something.
We see gender everywhere. We learn what gender is from our parents, from school, from work. Whether we like it or not, we see gender in adverts and in film and online. The definition of gender has stayed static for so long, but now, it seems, there's a gender revolution. Not only are cisgender people tired of being defined by their sex, but LGBT genders are coming out in droves.
I actually came out on Facebook just after Pride with a photo, so it just gave me so much strength.
Of course, attitudes towards the genderqueer have adapted with the times. They have always been here, but now society is slowly becoming more tolerant. It's not been long since society mostly accepted Caitlyn Jenner for who she is as a woman. We also championed actresses such as Laverne Cox, another transgender woman, or Ruby Rose, who identifies herself as gender fluid. It's also not been long since we mourned the death of David Bowie, an artist who identified himself as genderqueer.
And it's not just celebrities coming out for the world to see. 10% of the UK now openly identifies as LGBT, with 4.6 of those being genderqueer or transgender, and that's just openly. It's estimated that it's closer to 30% of the British population that are LGBT, including those who are still in the closet.
I've been researching to find out the less obvious differences between men and women, the social, psychological differences. But from my research, I've realised there's a lot more that we need to do. Like, transgender and intersex and non-binary people of alternative genders, LGBT genders, they make up a large part of this conversation about gender. And I've realised that they've been completely ignored.
To find out more about LGBT perceptions of gender, I'm headed to London Pride. With millions of gay, lesbian, bi, trans and queer people attending the event each year, I'm bound to find someone who will talk to me about gender. Gathering together in cities all across the world is a relatively new tradition for the LGBT community. At its core, Pride is a protest, starting only in 1969 at the Stonewall Inn in New York. In England, homosexuality was decriminalised in 1967, but this did near nothing to change the attitudes surrounding queer people, and it didn't impact the laws across the Atlantic either. In New York, the police would raid clubs and pubs, arresting any homosexuals they found, often brutally. But one night in July 1969, a series of spontaneous and violent demonstrations protesting a police raid broke out and didn't stop for several days. The first Pride March remembered this event, the first in London taking place in 1972. Since then, gay marriage has been legalised, but Pride goers recognise there's still a lot left to do.
And get better rights for LGBT plus people and to fight for equality throughout the world.
I found LGBT society organisers Gracie and Molly, who've agreed to talk to me about gender.
Gender, how would you define it?
Fluid. Yeah. Sort of society's definitions of masculine and feminine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you don't agree with society's definition?
I think there's cultural definitions, but I don't necessarily think that would be an end to gender. Yeah. Gender's whatever you feel like. It's however you want to express yourself.
Okay. So Theresa May recently said she's got boy jobs and girls jobs in her house. Do you agree with that?
I think